BDR is a method for beauticians to work with and a home care system. BDR stands for Biotechnological Dermaceutical Reconstruction. And that is what this method does. It reconstructs the entire tissue of the skin, even deeper tissues. It rebalances dysfunctions inside the skin so that normal skin and young skin remains young practically forever. That some skin that had been young for quite a while and some obvious marks show you the age, will turn back the time for these kind of clients. So we really could also speak from a kind of age eraser on biotechnological basis. All sorts of disbalances can be fixed again. So talking about acne, talking about marks, talking about hyperpigmentations, all sorts of really, let's say, of heavy, not problems, but let's say a challenge, where other cosmetic methods had to give up. That is actually the point when BDR starts the game. So the challenge of skin problems that can be solved is incredible. The possibilities to work with BDR is incredible. So it is no matter of age, no matter of skin condition, and no matter of skin type. Every sort of tissue will automatically, naturally be reconstructed, will be more beautiful, more tight, more even, and that is the art of BDR. BDR, advanced power needling, basically is the further developed technique of BDR. 20 years ago, BDR was the very first worldwide company who started the vertical needling. Before that, everybody was working with rollers, with derma rollers and stuff like that. Now, BDR has invented this method 20 years ago with the soft, minimal invasive stimulation system to bring more activity to the lower layers of the epidermis and to reactivate the upper layers of the dermis. Now, the advanced power needling now is a method where BDR goes more intense, goes more deep. It took some time to find the right shape of needles. It took a while to find the right positioning of the needles because we would like to stimulate, but we don't want to torture our clients. So that was quite a way to get to the point and find the perfect shape, the perfect laser pointing of needles. And this is now, with the advanced power needling by BDR, a technology that is really activating deep layers of the skin. That means fibroblasts, which is those cells who recreate and who build the collagen and elastin fibers, especially collagen type 3 and 4. This is the one that is for our skin very important. And that type of collagen is being built by the use of the advanced power needling by BDR. And practically what happens is it tightens the skin, it firms the skin. The entire density inside the dermis is being boosted to the maximum. It's incredible what possibilities we have using this technique. And then while the skin has been treated, and during the time that we are treating our client, we can work with several biotechnological, dermaceutical, and even biomimetical ingredients to fill those gaps that nature left behind and to refill everything what the skin needs. Actually, this treatment is suitable for everybody, for all sorts of skin, for all skin types, all skin conditions, all age of skin. Of course, every skin reacts differently and will be treated a little differently and very individual to the certain need of the skin. There is also some treatments I would like to postpone, or I would like to delay, or I would actually also cancel an appointment under certain circumstances. For example, if my client has to use medications like cortisone, or if she's inside a ray therapy or chemotherapy, if she has to use medication, vitamin A against acne. So those kind of conditions are quite important to find out beforehand, because those are the moments where when we speak about contraindications. There is also some contraindications that actually are just, could say, actual in the actual momentum. A contraindication could be possible to treat here 1 week later, which is, for example, sunburn or things like that. So actually, every healthy skin, unproblematic or sensitive, doesn't matter, but every healthy skin can be treated with the advanced power needling by BDR, and every skin condition will benefit, no matter what age, no matter what type, and no matter what skin condition. All the problems can be solved. The pain question is always the funny one, because every client reacts differently, and whereas one client would say, I could feel a tingle, or I could feel a certain discomfort, especially on those areas when thin skin lays on a bone. It's really directly, very stretched across a bone. That is the area where we can feel and where we can detect a certain, it's not pain, it's maybe a discomfort. We are in BDR with our advanced needling, we know exactly in what layer our client needs to be treated, so we know about the intensity to work with, but we also know the importance of feeling comfortable and to find the fine red line to go right there that our client would recommend this treatment, because so many needling techniques are purely painful and are less effective. And the advanced power needling by BDR is highly effective and far less painful than needling techniques in the market, because we know what to do. It could bleed on certain, like punctual bleeding is possible. We are working in the dermal layers if we choose to work in the invasive way, because there's 3 steps of this treatment, which is the non-invasive, minimally invasive, and invasive treatment. And once we choose to use the invasive technique, because we want to rejuvenate a mature skin, and this is when we need to go to these layers, when we need to really bring up the skin majorly. That is the point under certain circumstances could bleed along the chin, jawline, or on the cheekbone, or on the frontal bone. There could be, but, and this is the point when people are asking me about bleeding, they would most probably think about the days after, if there is a crust, or if there is any treatment dryness on the surface which is visible, and that's not. So if a little bleeding occurs, this has nothing to do with and it takes place in the same area where a tattoo or micropigmentation treatment would take place, and we know that those treatments could also bleed, but the density of the needle impact on a tattoo is much more close together. And therefore, our clients do not have to expect at all any kind of crusting, any kind of you could actually not see a wound put it this way. You will be ready for social life privately. Yes. The first hours, right after the treatment, is the time when you will see redness, you will feel like a very extremely activated skin. So it's not that the skin is pinkish red, but you see that there is activity and you feel it. And the skin will be very, very thirsty. So you have to quench this thirst in the first few hours quite often. So I would say the first time when a client gets the impression of, oh, I need to put something on. That is approximately 2.5 hours after the treatment. Before, I would also recommend not to touch the area anyway. But so 2 hours, 3 hours after the treatment, with cleaned hands, to take a spritz of a deep moisturizer, the BDR Recharge, or Recharge N even for the regenerative, and to apply that with wet palms is very, very beautiful to feel this. But on the other hand, now speaking about to quench a thirst means, on the other hand, that also the activity of the tissue and the action and the stimulation is visible. So I would not go for new passport pictures or to one of the most important cocktail parties straight after the treatment. A clever customer who understands what this method does, she would come 2 months before this important cocktail party. Because what happens with the BDR advanced power needling is very simple to explain. Due to the fact that we have a certain impact to the dermal layers of the skin, the density and the elasticity of the skin is being boosted to the maximum. So what happens in the first days is actually a visible result of freshness, nice glow. But after 1 week, you can see the skin going up. After 2 weeks, you can see the skin straightens out. After 3 weeks, you can see wrinkles disappearing. And once after 4 weeks, we repeat this treatment, then 4 weeks later, the result is triple as strong as after the first treatment. And so a clever client would always come before, let's say, a wedding party or a cocktail or a red carpet, or just if she wants to make some friends jealous, she would come 2 months beforehand. Makeup, I would suggest not to use it at minimum 48 hours after. Not because it's dangerous, but it's not very clever, as the skin will be very thirsty and we will have to give her quite often, whether a hyaluronic acid spray with ectoine, we have to give her some liquids, and we also have to place a mask every now and again. Because that is the moment when the skin is receptible for all these precious ingredients, and that is the chance to really fill all these biomimetic, biotechnological and dermaceutical products in deep layers. So that would be the chance and the perfect timing to create all the and to close all the gaps and to create a new skin tissue. And if we had put makeup on, that would not that would disturb the ingredients from penetrating. So I would recommend to not use it for 48 hours if there is something going on in the company and there is a meeting, short notice. Of course, it's possible to use a kind of makeup. BDR offers a very special pigment that also can be put on a skin that had been treated shortly. Yes. Well, actually, all sorts of like with all sorts of drugs, it's the amount that counts. If a client likes to have a coffee in the morning and her body does not react immediately and throughout the entire day very nervous, then of course you can have a coffee. If a client wants to sit outside in a I don't know, in a coffee outside on the street, and she will like to have a glass of champagne on the Champs-Élysées before she goes to our flagship store in Paris, do it. But make sure that you don't overdo it. Yeah, if you want to, a sip of champagne is fine as long as we don't see redness. And everybody reacts differently. I would not forbid all these things to my clients, but I would ask them to come in the most relaxed way. So the skin shall be relaxed. I don't want sunburn before. I don't want, because she drank too much the day before and she's got all those little red spots everywhere because the skin reacts on that. Then she should be clever enough to understand, if she knows her body by that time, what to do and what not to do. There is not this typical, although we are working in the same layers as a tattoo artist or a micropigmentation artist, they have to be more keen about those preparations. But this short-term treatment has not so much impact that a cup of coffee before would disturb. Right after the treatment, there is a few steps that you should go together with your beautician, first of all, and with your client, or beautician and client together. I start over again. Right after the treatment, it's important to follow the protocol of the BDR advanced needling, of the power needling, because first of all, the skin is open to and receptible to take in all sorts of precious ingredients. Now, using the wrong products, which are not compatible with the advanced power needling by BDR, can be a big mistake. So you have to understand that the BDR products which are made for this treatment have to be used at least 2 weeks after that treatment. So you get, as a client, every client gets a post-treatment box with the products that she needs, should be included in the price, and so she knows exactly what to do. Then secondly, of course, there's certain things that should be also thought about. Do not touch the face for 2-3 hours. Do not expose yourself to extreme sunlight for 1 to 2 days. Sensitive people, maybe 3 days. So maybe be aware for 2 days, and be careful and treatful for a week or two, and take care of the fact that the skin now has a special condition, and now is the time to do all the precious things for the face. OBDR offers also many other treatment options, as BDR is famous since 20 years for certain needling techniques. And now with this new method of the advanced power needling, of course, this is one of the top treatments that every client wants at the moment worldwide. But BDR is like the secret tip for all beauticians that want to have more than just a cosmetic treatment. BDR is very special. Where normal cosmetic ends, that's the point where BDR starts to have fun. So you could say we have in the operative way, there is abrasion techniques, there is needling techniques, there is certain techniques that are being used during an acid layering, for example. Then there is, in the preparative way, there is so many special products, like the concentration of ingredients is incredible. When we're speaking here about biotechnological dermaceutical regeneration and reconstruction, we are talking about the maximum percentage of active ingredients, and still all the inkies are green if they are tested by ToxFox and all those apps that help the client to find the right product. And there is so many things to do. There is acid treatments, acid layerings. There is massage techniques that influence the muscle. It's like just by massaging with a hand, with a certain apparatology, just by touching with our hand, it actually has nearly the same impulse like a Botox treatment, because we can relax the muscle based on what's the English word for it? Static, like a static loading inside the skin. So there is fabulous treatments being worked on the lymphatic system. So BDR is a specialist for special treatments and for clients with special needs and for beauticians with special abilities.